Roger, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahuwah. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. It's up in John chapter 5, verse 39. First the scriptures, thank you have eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Allah he hate. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. And those in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another? And seek not the honor that comes from Allah only. Do not think that I will accuse you. The Allah, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. If you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Book of Proverbs, chapter 22. 11. Shalom, man. We're going back to Proverbs. I skipped over a couple chapters, but I think we're still in 16. But, we move around. We've been dealing with this adventure in Proverbs for a long time and still got a long way to go. But nevertheless, thank the Lord. Proverbs 22:11. He that loveth pureness of heart for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. Now, we're dealing with this verse here tonight, and then that's going to be the end of that one. This one here is not going to extend past this evening. So we're going to look and see what it says, what it actually says. Give me a moment. So you already know, pureness of heart is going to deal with tahor, which is cleanliness. You understand? And that's tet, that's hey, that's ooh, and that's ra. So I want you to come over here to come to Matthew chapter 5, if you will. Now, when you look at this here, right, it's telling you that loving a pure heart, because the he is not there. It's just aha, or and lab. I want you to come to Matthew chapter 5 real quick. All right. Ain't trick. So when you look at it, it's loving a pure heart or a clean heart. Now, this is going to allow us to go back to Psalms 119 with the bot aspect and revisit that and go through that in a more in-depth fashion than what we did first time. We pick it up at verse 1 in Matthew 5 just on general principle, because we really only want verse 8. And seeing the multitude went up into the mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Baruch are the poor in Ruach, theirs is the kingdom of Shamahim. Baruch are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Baruch are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Baruch are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Baruch are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. But Baruch are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim. Now, you just say, blessed are you if you're pure in the heart. Now we're looking at this Proverbs 22:11, how he that loves pureness of heart, or having a love for a pure heart, the grace of the lips of the king will be their friend. I want you to sit back. I want you to consider that in your mind for a moment. But look at this here, a pure heart. Let's come to Psalms 119. Let's go back to 5. That's going to be verse 8. Or verse 9, if you would. Psalms 119 and 9. So what are we dealing with here? You have a loving for a clean heart. See, a lot of individual hearts are not clean. See, we gonna go back and forth. People go back and forth about 1,000,001 things. That cleansing that heart out ain't one of them. It's just be taught. You have some people, we got the fruits. You know, I tell you and teach you. The book does not teach you that you could just do the fruits of the spirit. Fruits are the offspring or the produce or the benefit of the spirit. Well, the spirit can only be benefited going back to the parable of the sower. The seed has to fall into it. If you don't believe it, then you can't actually get the benefit. Look at this. Then if you don't actually believe it, you're not going to get the benefits of, you can't do faith. Faith is the product of believing the word. Product of believing the word. Patience is the product of believing the word. Self-control is the product of believing the word. It's not something you could just go do. You know what I'm saying? And say, see, I got the fruits. That's fraudulent. Because that's why he tells you that persecution and tribulation arise because of it. And by they are offended. Psalms 119 and 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to your word. So let's look at taking heed, because I don't believe we looked at that the last time. We did go look at Ephesians 5. So we'll have no need to deal with that. I know we went and looked at Job 11 in that regard. Now, what does this sit back and tell you here? The first thing when it says a young man, the word is nahar. It's a boy, it's a lad, it's a servant, it's a retainer. Basically, a young man, a babe in the word, if you will. Now, you got Nun, Ayin, and Raj. So you would know the eternal life that is in the highest. You would know the eternal life that is in the teeth in Yahusha. But let's look at this being a young man. Come over here to 1 Peter chapter 2 and look at verse 1. Look what it takes. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and evil. Desiring the sincere milk of the word, that you may be able to grow thereby, if so experienced the chief of eternal life, the eternal life of the highest. It's because you have tasted. But see, you have to be a newborn. Hey, you young. How can a young man cleanse his way? How can a young servant cleanse his way? See, come over here to Ezekiel 16. Let Ezekiel tell you about it too. After we look at Ezekiel 16, we'll look at John 15. You're not reading it, so we're going to look at Ezekiel 16 from a different vantage point. I want you to come to Ezekiel 16. I want you to get up at verse 5. After John 15, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, I believe. 6. Ezekiel 16 and 5. None I pitied you. Matter of fact, back it up to verse 4. And as for your nativity, in the day that you was born and your neighbor was not cut, neither were you washed in water to supple you. You were not salted at all. You were not swaddled at all. Let's look and see what that means. Let's look and see. In the wrong verse. Nobody suppled you. Nobody did any of these things for you. When we look at wash, of course, you call this rakats, it's to wash you off. So it's Raj, Kat, and Sad. So nobody separated you to the way of the highest. Just keep that in mind with that wash. Nobody separated you to his way. You got to be washed and separated to that way. That takes you back to why he tell you in John chapter 3 that unless you be born of the water and the ruach, you can't get in. Why are you thinking in Acts when he told Paul, go baptize and wash away your sins? You got to wash that junk off and be made a new creature. That's the conversation that people don't want to have. You know what I'm saying? Dudes want to argue about this and that. You got niggas arguing about what was the diet. I heard a brother say this today. This is a true story. And it'll kill this conversation right here that a lot of women in the word like to have, talking about where was Adam when Satan stepped to Eve. And the statement was this here, right? Because it's like this here. We've had this conversation before. A lot of women got the game twisted, thinking that the man is there to help them. That man is not there to help you. He is not your helpmeet. He is not there to further and assist you in your endeavors. You were created for the purpose of assisting him in his endeavors. And cooking and cleaning is not assisting him in his endeavors, because those are things that he could do on his own volition without you. Period. That can be accomplished without you. That does not make you a helpmeet because you cook and clean. I'm sad to tell you that someone has deceived you. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you look at Genesis chapter 2, Adam was made to be a a caretaker of that garden. So see, and I mentioned this the other day, and it's the key component. You want your woman to be doing something. You don't want, see, the book tell you this here too, by not letting a woman sit around idle. Matter of fact, let me show you that. Over here to 1 Timothy chapter 5. I know we done mentioned it before, but the book tell you that. Don't let them sit around not doing that. Because ain't nothing good gonna come from that. 1 Timothy 5 and 11. So remember, he said, I make a help meet sufficient for you. That's what it say. Let me go back and read that for you one time, just in case you ain't know. If you didn't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? He say, and Yahuwah Elohim said it is not good that man should be alone. I will make a help meet for him. That's a key component that the woman has to remember. The same component that this woman, Yasharal, has to remember. You're a help meet for him. He ain't here for you. He's not here for you. He's not here for you. You were not created. The man was not created to help you. There's a difference of a man being a servant in his household in regards to leadership and him being a helpmeet. Those are two different things. Two different things, and they're not mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? People can get those two things misconstrued. But that's understandably so, considering the society that we live in. But 1 Timothy 5 and 11. But the younger widows refused, for when they have began to wax wanton against Mashiach, they will marry, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith. Withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. See, that's how a lot of women get in trouble, because you ain't got nothing to do. Shop, ain't got guard. Just sitting around looking. People say, where was Adam at? Adam was tending to his business like she was tending to hers. That's clear. You give a woman something to do, you standing over her shoulder after you done gave her a task to do. At that point, you could have done it yourself. I gave you this to do while I'm over here doing this, because both of us doing something together can get it done faster. You know what I'm saying? If I'm over here taking care of this part, you over here taking care of that part, and if you don't want to believe that, then come to Proverbs 31 to submit why I'm telling you that. She just had a little bit of understanding. But you don't want no woman sit around not doing that. She ain't got nothing to do. She bound to get in some trouble. You give her something to do, she ain't got no time to get in no trouble. And she should be fully committed and fulfilling your vision anyway. That's why he don't send any and everybody out here to preach the word, because everybody ain't committed to his vision. Yes, people done got up and went and did it. But that's a woman who looked like, I did all this stuff for you. Say, but I ain't asked you to. Because if I would have asked you to do it, then I would have proved you were my woman. You ain't my woman because I ain't asked you to do nothing. I don't know who you is. You need to find your man. Come over here, Proverbs 31. Let me see where's one, man. I'm gonna sit back and look like I'm gonna use for this one here, man. You know what? Boom, boom, boom. There we go. We pick it up at verse 13. She seek wool and flax and work willingly with her hands. She's like the merchant ship. She bring her food from afar. She rise also while it is yet night, and give meat to her household and portion to her maidens. Now, I don't know if we ever went over that, but all you got to do is you can look at that as Mashiach, because he rose while it was yet night and gave meat to his household and a portion to his maidens. But we'll deal with that at another time. She considered a field and buy it, and with the fruit of her hands, she planted a vineyard. She girded her loins with strength and strengthened her arms. She perceived that her merchandise is good, and her candle go out not by night. She lay her hand to the spindle and her hands on the distaff. She stretched out her hand to the poor. She reached forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all of her household are clothed in scarlet. She make herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sit among the elders of the land. See, this is when they go back, when they tell you that a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. Because what would make her strong? Her willingness and desire to serve her husband's will, which would make you a virtuous woman. We already talked about that. And the crown of your husband, which would be the Lord. Are you willing to do the same? But let's look at subtlety, right? Ezekiel 16. That's Mashal. That's cleansing. Nobody sought to clean you. That's mean. That's Shan. That's Ayin. And that's Yod. So we look at that Yod, that Yahushua decided to so that you praise the Lord. Praise. Let me look at something. So we have to look at it in that regard, because that's her job. Her job is to help you. You know what I'm saying? Your job is not to help her. Your job is to serve. That's the difference. There's a difference between helping and serving. The difference between being a servant and an aid, a help, and a relief. Man was not created to be an aid and a help and a relief to the woman. And truth be told, if the man looked at his wife in that fashion, that woman would not respect him as a man. She would see that he would see her as an equal. You know what I'm saying? We're going to look at this here. We say actions of worship. More than likely, I'm going to say worship. Sit back and you know the worship that pairs you to the Ruach. This is why you're clean. And we're looking at worship, that's reverence. You're bowing down, you're humbling yourself to someone greater, which again is going to take you back to being baptized, because it's taking you back to Mashiach humbling himself unto death. Pause. Philippians chapter 2, not even verse 14, I guess verse 5. I ain't want to read all of it, but I ain't really got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Woman got a job to do. She gotta handle her business. You know what I'm saying? She gotta handle her business. And her business is your business. And you can't just sit around and feel like as long as she keep my house, she handling business. Because she's not. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, you have to ascertain, does that woman want to be a part of what you got going on? If she has any level of admiration and respect, she wants to be a part of what you got going on. If she don't want to be a part of what you got going on, and truth be told, she's worthless. You know what I'm saying? She serves no earthly purpose and has no value to you whatsoever. You can cook and clean your own house, my nigga. At the end of the day, you can do that yourself. You know what I'm saying? They got all types of things now, man. You can buy food pre-cooked for you. All you got to do is heat it up and actually be decent food. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just judge that, oh, she cooking clean, she's holding it down. Because that doesn't make you a helpmeet. Whores cooking clean. I done told y'all that before. Whores cooking clean. That doesn't mean she's a wife because she cooks and cleans. You know what I'm saying? She has to literally be a helpmeet. You have to know what that means and understand and desire that. And if she don't want to be a part of what you got going on, then shoot, why is she there? Because that's no different with us with Yahoo Shop. If you don't want to be a part of what he got going on, why are you there? That's why people walk away. Because they don't want to be a part of what he got going on. Because to be a part of what he got going on means you have to be under his authority, under his guidance, under his leadership, take his chastening and yield and release. See, people want the freedom to still do what they want and get what they want. That's how that works. That's not sacrifice. Because, see, I've told you this before. If you're looking at what you're losing versus what you're gaining, you're not fit for the kingdom. You ain't fit for it. If you always talking about what you got to give up and what you can't do versus what you getting, I'm be honest with you, you a fool. You know what I'm saying? You are a fool. You know what I'm talking about? And you're not fit for the kingdom. You're not fit for it because you're not going to look at the benefit that you're going to receive in forth of yielding to this man's will, because all you got is selfish motivation. And that's not cut for everlasting salvation. Let me be the first to tell you if ain't nobody else. You're not fit for it, and you're not following the pattern of the Lord. The Lord did not look at what he was losing; he was looking at what he was gaining. That's why we can't get nowhere, anywhere in life, because you're scared about what you're gonna lose and not what you're gonna gain. When what you're gonna gain is exponentially greater than what you perceive that you're gonna lose, because at the end of the day, you only care about doing what you want to do, and you feel like what you're gonna lose is greater than the freedom that you actually going to attain by giving up the things that you want to keep. That's why he told you, I count everything but as dung that I might win Mashiach. That's why a lot of women ain't never gonna have no righteous men. And I ain't just talking about on no natural level neither. Because you don't want to get nothing, you don't want to be restricted. because you don't look at the freedom you're going to get. You don't see the benefit because you think you the prize. You can't see that Mashiach is the prize. You can't see that man is the prize, and that the benefits you'll get for laboring in his work. I've been told y'all that, but y'all don't believe me. You know what I'm saying? If any man at any level of man, especially if he claims to be a righteous, godly man, and that woman submits to his will and labors in the fulfilling of his will, only a Boston or sucker would not reward that woman for her work, because she would have earned that. That man told you, right? Blessed are they that die in the Lord from henceforth, and they work do follow them. That's what the man told you. You don't put the work in, I'm going to reward you for it. The man said he's not unrighteous to forget your labor of work, that you serve the saints and do serve. So come on, man, you got to be real with yourself. He told you love don't seek your own. So how you say you love Elohim, but you're seeking your own? How you say you love your husband, but you're seeking your own? Make it make sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. And that's why our hearts ain't clean. That's why you can't get the way you want to go, because you ain't even cleansed yourself of the pride. Because he told you, right, the pride of life, the love of the Father is not in you. He resisteth the proud and give grace to the humble. So he done already told you this. But we don't seem to hear that. Because see, we think pride is just when you debate and going back and forth with somebody, upset. That pride be you can't sit back and realize you're not the prize, baby. Not by a long shot. Because you think you the prize. That's why you want to hold on to everything that you don't, what you want to do. And you don't realize the prize is before your face. And that if you would give up to what you want, that what you're going to get is going to pale in comparison. It's not going to be no even. It's not even. It's even beyond. I'm talking about the benefit that he's going to give you. It's not even going to compare in the benefit that you thought you could give yourself. Because ain't no man finna stick around and think you're going to do what you want to do and be with him at the same time while you forsaking his vision to fulfill your own will. The Lord had already tell you that don't work. You can't serve two masters. How long you going to differ between two opinions? If Yahuwah be Elohim, then serve him. See, we differ between two opinions. See, the two opinions is bigger than just serving an idol God, because you serving the idol you done set up in your heart, which is your own will. The Lord himself, I already told you, I did not come here to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. Who will you doing? Who will you doing? You doing his or you doing your own? And you can sit back and look at yourself. And when you look at yourself and you examine yourself honestly, or where you are spiritually, you'll be able to know if you've been doing his will or doing your own. It's going to scream in your face. It's going to scream in your face. See, the only reason you don't delight to do your husband's will is because you don't delight in his plan. Now, see, we know our husband got a plan. Now, some women don't delight to do their natural husband's plan because he ain't got one. So all they looking for is somebody who they know going to take care of, but they know he going to do this and do that. You know what I'm talking about? They already know that. I be trying to tell y'all young men that because you don't realize that some women don't pick you because you that good of a dude. She know you're going to take care of them. See, look, all women want security. She want to know that you can take care of her. If she know you're going to take care of her, she going to go ahead and jump down with the program. She going to go ahead and jump down with the program. Then a year come down later, you find that woman didn't even like you. You know what I'm saying? But she did what she had to do. You don't know that because you don't know their nature. They're going to look out for themselves. They're survivalists. They're going to survive now. That's why you don't see too many good-looking women on the street. They sitting on at least a good $40 to $150 worth of Gucci. They're going to use that to get them somewhere to stay. They're going to use that to get them somewhere to stay, food in their belly, if they got a frame and a decent-looking face. Because it's going to be a sucker somewhere who's going to be willing to take care of. See, that's how Satan come at you. He come at you looking all good. And that looking all good is the things that you desire, and you willing to take care of it and then swallow your whole. But let me move on. Philippians 2:5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Mashiach Yahushua, who being in the form of Elohim, thought it not robbery to be equal with Elohim, but made himself of no reputation, took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found fashioned as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the stake. Now you already know Mashiach's desire was to not get up there on that tree. He said, man, if it was possible, man, let this thing here pass. But of course, it was more important to him to fulfill the will of the man who sent him, the man who had authority and power over him, than it was to fulfill his own. Come on back. That's what the pureness of heart come into. Come on back over here to Ezekiel 16. Go over here in verse 5. No, I pitied you to do any of these unto you, to have compassion upon you. But you was cast into the open field to the loathing of the person in the day that you were born. When I passed by you and saw you polluted in your own blood, I said unto you when you was in your blood, live. Yea, I said unto you when you was in your blood, live. Now, you know, we talked about this before. You come to John 15. You was in your blood because you were in your sins. But even in your sins, while we were yet sinners, Mashiach died. Well, when we were yet without strength, Mashiach died from the ungodly. See, when you was in your blood, he said, live. He said, live. See, one thing for certain, John chapter 15, verse 1. See, one thing for certain, right? It ain't no different with the word. You hear dudes tell you, if a woman can't be corrected, she can't be directed. I done told you about this before. That stuff they be like, oh, correct your woman in private. You lying to me. You lying to me. Because if she embarrass you and disobey you and disrespect you openly, then you gotta put her to shame openly. Because that's what Yahuwah did to his son. That's what he did to Yasharal. See, all that taking her back to the house, the chastising to the house, she ain't gonna respect that. Because she knows, shoot, I can disrespect this thing in the open, he ain't gonna say nothing. See, you look at chastising as just being overly aggressive, loud, angry, and that's not necessarily the case. It's just letting the person know that this behavior is not acceptable. But see, the reason why I say that is you can't put your master to shame in public. Because see, when you're disobedient and you're disrespectful in public, you've dishonored your master. So why do you think that you owe to be corrected in private, to take your chastisement or your shame or your dishonor in private? This is why he tell you that if you commit sin, he gonna pull you out in front of everybody and pull your skirt up and let everybody see. See, he even told David that, oh, you thought you did this in private. I'm gonna pull you out here and I'm gonna do this in front of everybody. So you could go on and cut the crap on that one there. See, that's women talk. I say that's women talk. That's something that comes from women to benefit women. You know what I'm saying? That's not a masculine way of doing things. If someone wants to dishonor themselves in public, then they have to take that chastisement in public. That just is what it is. You're going to have to be checked. See, remember, the only reason why I say that, because y'all know I tell you Ecclesiastes 8 and 11 all the time. Because that sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily is privily in the hearts of sons of men to do evil. Because you don't get checked right then, you feel like you can continue to do it with impunity. With impunity. See, again, the difference, chastisement is not about you stupid hoe and all this stuff. No, we ain't got to do all that. All you have to let up, baby, that's just not acceptable. Your conduct is not becoming. What is wrong with you? That is unacceptable. That's not that difficult to express your disdain for unacceptable conduct. Because that's all Yahuwah's been doing with us from the day that he done met us, is expressing his disdain for dishonorable conduct. You understand? That's what, and when you understand that, you got to realize something. We just talked about this here. I'm going to come back to and reference it again at the end of Proverbs 21, at the blueness of the womb. Hold on. Because I ain't going to say it all the way, right? I'm just trying to tie back, keep stuff full circle, cause you to understand. Some of y'all going to get stuck on the natural, and that's your personal problem. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Well, it's Proverbs 20 and 30. The blueness of a womb cleanse away evil. So do the stripes of the inward parts of the belly. Remember what he also told you? Faithful are the wounds of the friend, and deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. You know that kisses of the enemy was Judas. You know that. You know what I'm talking about? But you have to sit back and look at that. Because see, when we say stuff like that, that's more of an ego protection. You're trying to really protect your ego. You know what I'm saying? You're really trying to protect your ego. And sometimes your ego has to be bruised. It has to be brought down. Because that's what's keeping your heart from being cleansed. For your heart to be pure, for you to even understand the grace of the lips of the king, so that you can even be friends with it to begin with. But let's continue. John chapter 15 and verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Abba is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bear not fruit, he take away. Every branch that bear fruit, he purge it, that it might bring forth more fruit. You are now clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. You can't do nothing. Now, see, it's different now in this society when you look at it on the natural side. The women say, without a man, I can do a lot, but yet they still unfulfilled. And why are they unfulfilled? Because they're not operating according to the manner of which they were created to operate in. You know what I'm saying? That's no different from a lot of people who stray from Yahuwah. You're not operating according to his will, so you look to fulfill yourself with all these other things. It ain't working. It ain't working. There's still a void until he turn you reprobate. And it don't matter. You just an empty individual waiting to die. Nevertheless, 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Tired. Oh, yeah, it's chapter 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know you not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminates, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Elohim. And such were some of you. You are washed, you are sanctified, and you are justified in the name of the Lord Yahushua by the Ruach of our Elohim. So look at what he told you. You've been washed, you've been set apart, and you righteous in the name of the Lord. In the name of Yahushua. Remember, we already talked about this other day, right? Revelation, where he told you, come on over here to look at it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. We talking about being clean. Because they say you're gonna love a pure heart. The only way you can love a pure heart is to love the Son of Elohim. That's it. Ain't no other way around it. And the only way you can love the Son of Elohim is we've been talking about, you got to know his witness. You don't know his witness, how you love it. What you love about it. How you love somebody you don't know. That don't make sense. Just because you ain't seen him, don't mean you can't love him. You just ain't seen him. But if you heard of him, you seen him. Book already told you that. 1 and 3. Score 1 and 1. Revelation 1 and 1 ain't hurt nobody. The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which Elohim gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. He sent and signified it by his Malachim unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of Elohim and the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach of all the things that he saw. Baruch is he that read, and they that hear the words of the prophecy of this book, the words of this prophecy, excuse me, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. John to the 7 houses which are in Asia. Grace be unto you and shalom from him which is and which was and which is to come, and from the 7 ruachs which are before his throne. And from Yahushua HaMashiach, who is the faithful witness, the first begotten of the dead, the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. Remember, he told you that in Isaiah, to wash you, make you clean. Right? Come back to Psalms 119. That's what we're looking at with cleansing your way, by taking heed according to your word. When we look at taking heed, we're looking at taking heed to Mashiach. You done treasured up. You preserving and protecting. You keep guarded. You giving heed. You treasure the word of Elohim. You treasure Yahushua. That's how you're going to cleanse yourself. You can't cleanse yourself no other way. See, we look to do stuff another way. That's why I told you. Climb up some other way, you a thief and a robber. Most of these Hebrews out here thieves and robbers because they're trying to do it different than what the man told you to do. So you're trying to steal salvation, but you can't steal from the Lord, buddy. You ain't doing nothing but lying to yourself. But you know, that's your business. That's your business. Come on here, Psalms 119 and verse 10. With my whole heart have I sought you. Oh, let me not wander from your commandments. Your word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. Baruch are you, O Yahuwah, teach me your statutes. With my lips I have declared all the judgments of your mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of your testimony as much as in all riches. I will meditate in your precepts, and I have respect unto your ways. I will delight myself in your statutes. I will not forget your word. The whole key component with everything in 9 and verses 9 to 16, dealing with Bat, is the house. You can't come in the house of Yahuwah and don't have a delight and love for the word, which is why he say he that love pureness of heart. Because what is pure? See, come over here to Psalms chapter 12. What's pure than the word of Elohim? Let's see what the word say. I said Psalm 12, but I meant Psalms 19. Well, you know what? It's all good. Psalms 12 is sufficient as well. I will write it further. Psalm 12 and 12 and 3. Psalm 12 and 3. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Psalms 12 and 3. All we trying to do is just get the information needed to save your soul. You can do what you want to with it. See, some people, I don't like what he's saying. As if I said anything. It's what the words say. You ain't gotta like it. At no time did this man say you had to like it. He said you ought to love it. You didn't say you had to like it. You know what I'm saying? See, like most people, they don't love you more. They hate his guts. You know what I'm saying? They hate his guts. So like I said, they feel everything is oppressive and restrictive to their desires. They don't want to yield themselves. They don't have a desire to yield themselves. It's the most difficult thing on this planet for them to do is look somebody in the face and say, you greater than me. I surrender to your will. Ooh, woo. But the average woman on this earth can't even do that. Average woman on this earth can't look a man in the face and say, you greater than me. I surrender to your will. They ain't been taught to do it. See what I done said to the average woman in this world right now. See, he's a misogynist. He hate women. No, you hate the Lord, you big dummy. That's what you is. You's a dummy. You hate the Lord. Because guess what you got to do? You got to look Yahushua dead in his face and say, you greater than me. I surrender to your will. That's what you did when you got baptized. You ain't realize that what you were doing? You ain't realize when you were confessing your sins and you went in that water and came up that you were looking at man in the face and say, you greater than me, I surrender to your will? Come on, man. Why you think this man would even teach a woman to reverence her husband and everything? All you're doing is mimicking, which if you can't do it to your husband, you can't do it to him. If you can't understand as a man the authority that man done gave you to not abuse that, if a woman do it, then you ain't fit in this kingdom either. Because we've already talked about this. He that ruleth amongst men just. You could be a man and rule and not be a douchebag and not abuse your authority. But see, that's when you have to mature spiritually. See, you can't be no newborn babe desiring the sincere milk of the word and then seek to do the work of a man. Because you're not ready for that. You ain't gonna do nothing but get in a whole bunch of folly. And when you get in a whole bunch of folly, it causes low morale, and then it causes that woman to lose respect for you. See, Yasharal ain't never lost respect for Yahuwah. We just want to do what we wanted to do. We were rebellious. See, there's a difference. See, you can be rebellious and not have respect for a man. You can have respect and still be rebellious. See, I respect who you are, but I want to do what I want to do. I know it's a consequence for what I'm doing. I respect your ability to crack my skull. I don't do what I want to do. And I'm a hope you're going to forgive me for it. I'm a hope that I can say, I'm sorry. And you're going to fall weak for me. I know you ain't because you ain't never done it. But that's my hope. You got little kids who do that, do stuff they know they're going to get a whooping for. If people ain't never let it slide, they do it anyway. Hoping that this will be the day you let it go. But you never let it go. But they do it anyway. See, that's somebody, they respect you, but they rebellious. Because they know you're going to do what you say that you're going to do. They hoping that day to day you'll go against your word. That's why I be telling that you can't do your churn like that. Shit, you can't do your woman like that. Well, if you said that you were going to do something, then you got to do that. You got to do that. And I ain't talking about saying you was going to do this or do that. If she going to get out of pocket and you told her that you don't like it, then you got to hold her to that. If you asked her to do something and she didn't do it, then you got to hold her to that. You just can't be like, man, she'll never do it. You can't do that. It's no different with a child. You got to check them every time. without fail. Can't let it slide. You can't even let it aggravate you. Because this is what I told you. This is what I expected. And I'm going to hold you accountable for that every time. I ain't letting nothing slide. Well, let me not say pen. I'm going to give you your chastisement. I'm going to send you on your way. Because it ain't bothering me none. Because I don't need you. You need me. That's the attitude you have, especially with a child. Oh, you need me. I'm not finna get all bent out of shape. I've been told y'all that. I ain't finna let no nigga who just stopped doodling on himself start stress me out. Yeah, I had to teach you how to use the toilet. Ain't nowhere in the world to let you stress me out. And I taught you how to use the toilet. You asked me for food. You asked me for snacks. And you finna stress me out? Not me. You can scream, kick, and holler and do all of that. Ain't gonna bother me none. Shut the door. Cry to the Lord. Cry to your mammy. Cry to your grandpappy. I don't care who you cry to, but you're gonna depart from my presence because I meant what I said and I said what I meant. You think Yahuwah was bothered because you were crying unto him? Because you bucked him and he bust you upside your head by the hand of the Philistines? Or by the hand of the Assyrians? Or by the hand of the Babylonians? Oh no, not gonna stress myself out about no child. You think you were stressed out because you don't listen? But get what? You ask him for stuff, and then you buck him. You think he's stressed? No, he ain't gonna let you stress him out. For what? I'm greater than you. You ain't finna stress me. No, you ain't finna stress me. Absolutely not. That's understanding your worth and your value. You know, if I'm greater than you, how can I let something lesser than me stress me? That don't make sense. That don't even make sense. When you sit there and you think about it and you assess it in your mind, most of the time we don't sit there and think about it. Like, man, I'm the head of the whole house. And I'm finna let this woman and these kids stress me? But stress ain't good for you, man. Stress takes years off your life. It causes you to gain weight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't good. You want to keep that cortisol down. The only reason why you stress because you're stressing over stuff you can't control. But what you can control is y'all get out my face tonight. Because I said, man, y'all tripping. Because I'm not tripping. I know I ain't tripping. Because I laid something down and ain't nobody do it. Oh, you don't want to do what I said? Don't worry about it, nigga. Ask me for no snack. Nigga. You ain't get no fruit snacks. You ain't get no cookie. You want to cry about it? Cry in your bed. Shut the door behind you. Straight up down. Nigga just doodled on himself. Nigga ain't finna drive me crazy. So, ain't finna drive me crazy. I ain't finna let you do it. I'm not finna let you do it. I will not allow it. You can't allow it. You know what I'm saying? Because who ain't gonna allow it? He gonna send you on your way. Psalm 12:3. Now I ain't telling you to throw your churn out. Don't throw your churn out. Just don't let them stress you out. Don't throw your wife out neither unless she just up and away crazy. Don't throw her out. Who shall cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speak proud things? Who have said with our tongue we prevail, our lips are our own, who is Lord over us. For the oppression of the poor, for the sighing of the needy. Now will I arise, saith Yahuwah. I will set him in safety from him that puff at him. See, that's talking about the righteous, right? They arose and was talking trash to Yahushua, right? Was he not signed on that state? Were you not signed in Egypt? You're going to be signed during the time of the beast. He said that he's going to arise. He's going to come through. Come on with it, right? The words of Yahuwah are pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of the earth, in a furnace of earth. Purified 7 times. Look at what he said, right? Tried as in the furnace in the earth. Let's look at that real quick, like, man. That's a beautiful thing right there. You already know it's a rock on the try. Now, when you look at pure, guess what we got? We got Tahor one more time. We got Emra. So when we're looking at Emra, that's the word of Elohim, that Torah, that speech. That's Yahusha. You know what I'm saying? Word of Yahuwah, that's a pure word. You know, that's as a furnace of earth purified 7 times. We look at that furnace, it's Ayel, it's a crucible. You know, Ayin, two Lamans in the yard. We got to speed this up. But he says it's purified 7 times. I just want you to see purified. Remember, it's a cock. It's the strain, it's refined, it's the purge. You got 2 koofs and the Zayin. So guess what? You get that last cut, bring forth fruit. Get that last cut, It's going to bring forth some fruit. You get cut off at the last to bring fruit to the beginning. But see, that's a whole nother thing. But that's gonna pour into some extra because we got some more. It's just this verse. We're gonna focus on this verse on Friday night, y'all willing. But it's just adding to some more. Come on, Proverbs 22 and 11 one more time. This is what happens when you love the pureness of heart. Basically, when you're looking at purified 7 times, that's falling into the seven abominations and being purged, being refined, being rose from the dead from them. That's why you sit back and you can love that pureness of heart. Because now we look at the grace of the lips of the king will be his friend. Of course, you know grace is calm, right? That's his favor, his acceptance. You understand? You're precious, you're well favored. That's noon. You're separated under life. So we already know that the words of the king, that's life. Those are acceptable words. But when we want to look at friend, which is a companion, a fellow citizen, Rosh and Ayin, you know the highest. So when you understand that when you love and have a pure heart, a heart has been cleansed for the word's sake, by Yahushua, then that grace, that those acceptable words of that king, they have become a companion to you. You become one with them. We done read so many verses over time in that same place that we don't have to keep reading them over and over again. But we will. John chapter 17. Because I keep telling y'all, man, I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, we can find verses if you who will see fit by way of Yahushua to get a different, more understanding of the it's the same word. See, some people look at they want to hear something new and spicy and different every week. This ain't for you. Because at the end of the day, it's just a reiteration. I had told you before, man. It's consistency and it's redundancy. You know what I'm saying? And it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's monotonous. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It just has to be reinforced. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what people are looking for, stuff to be flavorful. I didn't hear this before. Yeah, I get it. But when you've been doing it for a while, you're looking for the strengthening of what you already have. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for the strengthening of what you already have. That's, of course, you dealing with. When you look at the apostles, they moved around a lot, with the exception of really the 11, because they pretty much stayed in Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? So they were spitting the same thing. They're basically matter. You're not getting nothing different. See, that's why a lot of people walk away from the word because they won't. What about this? The rabbit hole goes deep. You got to question everything. What's the truth about this? See, that's a nigga don't believe nothing because you ready to chase after the next thing. That's an unstable mind. And I'm honest with you, I would expect that from a woman. It's wild from a man. The reason why I say guidance, she needs direction. You know what I'm saying? She desires that. Most of the time, a lot of women will tell you that to your face. That's what they need. Most dudes just ain't never seen that in their life to understand that this woman is telling you. If you dealt with enough women in your life, you know they need to be guided. They need to be directed. That's why you hear women talking about demanding dudes to leave because they trying to tell you, nigga, I don't want to navigate this thing, man. There's a reason why you jump in a car. It's one steering wheel. Two people can't drive. Two people can't drive. Somebody got to drive the car. She don't want to drive the car. Because she knows she drive the car, she liable to go everywhere. Same way little kids, they go everywhere. That's why he said don't be tossed to and fro like little kids. Let me not say kids because we ain't no baby ghosts. Like little sons, little children. Don't get tossed to and fro. You understand? A man's supposed to be stable. That's why I told you before, a woman can never be your rock. That's insane. Who is your rock? You can't be solidified and built upon the back of a woman. She wasn't meant for that. She trying to be built on your back. So you can't lean on her. You lean on her, she's going to topple. She's not big enough to support your weight. She wasn't made for that. She wasn't made for that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, she wasn't made for that. And again, I reiterate, that's why you see Yahushua doing what he did in the time of his peril. He went and leaned on his rock. He didn't want to go lean on Yasharal. He didn't want to go lean on his apostles. That's not to say you can't lean on your brothers. I'm talking about to a bigger point. He didn't sit to go lean on no woman. She's not going to respect you. She's going to see you as emotionally unstable. meaning she's going to see you as her peer, and she can't respect that. You know what I'm saying? So, and a woman can't respect a man who is everywhere with his knowledge. One day you believe this, one day you believe that, one day you believe this. She gonna look at you like you're stupid. And these are things they're not gonna tell you this to your face. You know what I'm saying? But they'll tell you that with how they speak to you and how they respond to you and how they interact with you. That she gonna look at you stupid. I look at men who stupid like that. If you believe in something wholeheartedly, that's your business. If you down with Allah, are you down with the black woman is God, are you down with metaphysics, whatever the case may be, and that's what you down with, and you roll with it, at least I can respect that. I can't respect a nigga who are 5% in 1 month, you are more in 3 months, you this, that, there, and another 6 months, you just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on something, you got to roll with that. Roll with it. John chapter 17, though. Verse 21. You got to roll. I say people get tossed to and fro because they feel like it's so much more to know. When really, it ain't. It ain't. It ain't. It really ain't. It ain't a whole lot more to know. It's really not. It's really not. Stuff is very simple. 99.9% of the stuff out here is bold-faced lies. You know what I'm saying? Tavon put it up there, and I have, because we never really look at it, wasn't thinking about it. The Egyptian god that Black Panther is attached to. This stuff be out here, jump bold-faced lies. And I was thinking in my head, I seen all these lady telling the dude, we got a superhero for our kids. Dude told him, and it was in the post, actually, dude told her the first hero he should have is his daddy and Yahushua HaMashiach. If he got to look for a superhero to make him look up to somebody, a fictional character. And it was sad to see men go along with that, because I expect a woman to say it, but to see men go along with that, sad. We finally got somebody. You ain't never heard white people, period, say we need a superhero to look up to. White people don't look at no Spider-Man and Batman and no Superman and say, I can be somebody. They parents teaching them that, you dummy. You done convinced yourself that they need that. That's stuff for their entertainment. So you know what you turn around and say, because we ain't got enough images of self on TV. What's wrong with you? White people don't raise their kids based off no images of no TV to be somebody. They don't do that. That's what you do. You think they do that. They don't. They raise their kids on the images of the people who they see every day. You do that. You do that. And you think the rest of the world do it too. I'm here to tell you, they don't. They don't. They don't. That's stuff you make. That's the stuff you make up in your own mind because you don't respect the authority of a man. Let a man come in and be the role model his son needs. You know what I'm saying? Because you like to pick trash niggas. So your son will never see a role model because you're bred with a low grade nigga to begin with. That's your fault. Because other nationalities and people don't do that. You ain't never seen no Arab say we need an Arab superhero. You don't see no Indian people talking about we need an Indian superhero. Come on, man. That junk sad. Man, some of the pictures I seen with those kids with that dog laying on the ground with that mask on and his arm folded, body came in there and slapped everybody in the house. I'm slapping my son off top. I'm slapping his mama next. And all the toys going in the trash and the mask getting burned. You know what I'm talking about? And it's getting burned. If you look it up, you see that it's for the Egyptian god Bastet. You just take that up in your own time. But even without that information, I'm finna whoop that nigga. Don't you dare, nigga. Around here weeping for a nigga. That nigga ain't real. That man's name is Chadwick Boseman. His name is not T'Challa. T'Challa does not exist in any realm, in any place, at any time. He does not exist. The Black Panther does not exist. Wakanda does not exist. And if you get a confidence boost out of a fictional place, you have serious psychological problems. And you need to sit down and talk with someone immediately. Never in my 40 years of existence that I look at any cartoon character and say that cartoon character made me feel better about myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never looked up to nobody on no TV to make me, I ain't say, Obama became president. I can be anything. Or this rapper did this, or this actor did that. Why would I be projecting my ability to achieve based off someone else's achievements. That I don't know this person. I'm not looking at a nigga on TV and say I can be this because of them. Why? Why do we even think like that? Why have we allowed our minds to be conditioning? Why can't nobody look to the Lord and say they want to be like him? Because you can't see him. Plus, who he is, it don't appeal to you. It don't appeal to you. It don't appeal to you. Because he ain't got money and hoes and fame and prestige and people chanting his name. He will in due time on this plane of existence that you can see. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't impress you. Nevertheless, 17 and 21, that they all may be one as you are, Abba, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. The esteem which you gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I and them, and you and me, that they may be made perfect in one, that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me. Now, I want you to keep this key component in your mind. Oh, absolutely, Kira. Shoot, mass majority of the world can't separate fiction from reality. You ain't told no lie when you said that. You ain't told no lie. Most of the world can't, and unfortunately, that's a female trait. Because men are supposed to be logical beings. You can't separate fiction from reality. That means you're living in a fantasy land, which means you're living in emotion. You're living in emotion. You're living as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Women are emotional creatures. Therefore, they can create scenarios that they can't separate from reality based off their emotion. See, that's not something to knock or belittle or begrudge a woman about because they are emotional creatures. You understand? They are emotional creatures. We talked about this before. Men do not dream up their wedding day in their head as a child. They don't do that. Women do. They've already mapped that out in their head because of emotion. Men are supposed to be logical. So when you're logical, you can separate fiction from reality. You understand the difference. This is another reason why the woman looks to be guided and directed because she knows she is emotional. So you have to be able to help her navigate through her emotions, not get upset with her because she's emotional, but understanding that she is emotional, she will be emotional, and that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's just their nature. That's how they're made. They're emotional creatures. So when you are emotional as a man, meaning that you're not operating on a plane of logic. When you're dealing with logic, you're dealing with reality. So that you can look at something that you know is fictional and separate that from reality. And you're not dealing in an emotional state. Because when you can't separate fiction from reality, that is a feminine trait. Because you're being emotional. You're not dealing with logic. You know what I'm saying? That's we are his wife because you're carnal. You're flesh. It means you're dealing with emotion and not logic. We're talking about as regards to spirit and not natural, but spirit. You're not dealing with spirit as a man, a flesh and blood man who hasn't been converted. You're dealing with your flesh. When you're dealing with your flesh, you can't please Elohim because you are emotional. Elohim is never emotional. He's always spirit. He's spirit 24/7, infinity and beyond. As that movie said, he's never, never emotional. Ever. When you deal with the Ruach Elohim, you are never emotional. Really to what? Because you got to let me know what you asking that in regards to. But yeah, you have to realize that that just is what it is. But again, that's understanding how a woman is made and not being upset with her about it. But understanding that goes to part two, dwelling with the woman according to knowledge, as dwelling with the weaker vessel. You already know this. So you're there to help guide her and navigate her through that. Some of these women will tell you they'll just go to feeling a particular way, don't even know why they're feeling that way. You got to help her navigate through that. You can't get emotional back with her. That doesn't make any sense because now you've lowered yourself to her plane. She's emotional. It is what it is. It is though. That is because you're dreaming up the scenario of how you want your wedding to be, all that type of stuff. That's based off of emotion because you're thinking about the feeling that that day is going to elicit for you. You know what I'm saying? That's not a because it's going to be something that can't be dreamed up into reality. Because very few people, that's why this woman say, the wedding of my dreams. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that you can tangibly have. Because most women, the wedding their dreams, they don't have it how they want it. They don't marry who they want. You know what I'm saying? And it's all for an emotional response of how that's going to make them feel a particular type of way that they've always imagined feeling since they were a young girl. That's why they program that with y'all in the cartoons and television shows and all that type of stuff. That's to elicit an emotional response. Men don't look at marriage in that fashion, so therefore they don't have those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's a whole nother thing, because that wedding day stuff and all that stuff, that's to make that to be a day all about that woman. You know what I'm saying? Because most people want that wedding, but they don't want the marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because marriage is not what most people think it is. It's at least not scripturally. Shoot, even on the natural side, it's not what people think it is. It's not this great big fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? That people are looking for. You know what I'm saying? That's why the world is out of whack. And at least in this country, that's why they have such a high rate of divorce. And it was funny. I was listening to something earlier today, and they were talking about in countries where marriages are arranged, the divorce rate is minuscule. Minuscule. You know what I'm saying? Like almost barely non-existent. Versus over here, where it is astronomically high. Word, word, word. You know what I'm saying? And what is that the case? Because everybody's moving off of emotion. You know what I'm saying? And when you're moving off of emotion, you're not going to make rational decisions. That's true story, my nigga. All the way around the board. That glamour way, because it's a day to glamorize her. You don't care about that man. You know what I'm saying? It's a day for her. When you look in ancient cultures, that type of stuff never happened. It never happened. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. But see, you already know we didn't talk about that. Why all that stuff changed. Giving the woman a ring, getting on a knee, and the man proposing to her, all this type of stuff what ends up making the man subservient to her. So you go into the marriage, she already don't respect you because you've already yielded to her and bowed to her and show her that she is your superior. So why would I respect you? Nigga, you got down on the knee and asked for me. When in ancient times, no one would have asked for you. You know what I'm saying? Your daddy would have set that up. I just talked to a brother about that yesterday. He was talking about the thing with Marcus Houston, and I was just looking at in general. If you're dealing with ancient times and you got an 18 to 21-year-old daughter, you're going to give her to no 21-year-old boy. He ain't going to be able to do nothing with her. He can't teach her nothing. He can't lead her nowhere. He can't guide her nowhere. I told him straight up and down. I'm like, bro, Isaac was older than me when he got Rebecca. Oh, you think Rebecca was? You think she was 30? Well, ain't no woman in antiquity was going to make it to 30 and not be married. If she made it to 30 and not be married, she was trash. Indeed, it sets a lot of people back financially. When according to tradition, the bride's father is supposed to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm like, you 18, 21, you between the ages of 18 and 21, you can guarantee your daddy was going to give you to a man in his mid to late 30s. A man who would have the ability to guide and care and nurture you the way he would. What is he going to give you to a young man for? What is the young man going to do? He can't teach you nothing. He don't know nothing. He can't teach, because see, we're looking at the financial side. You don't even look at the financial side. What can you teach my son? In antiquity, like usually, they wouldn't remain unmarried before they hit 22. They ain't gonna go too long. They done already had that young man picked and parcel and ready for him. He's already chosen for him. Yeah, your daddy's already the daddy's already sat down and had that conversation. Like, you know what? She hit such and such. You know, your son can come around here and get her. I know one thing, you do your research, you weren't gonna make it to 25. Because you got to remember your prime years. Nobody gonna wait for you to be 25, 26, 27, 28. At that point, don't no man want you. If we talking about ancient times, ain't no man gonna want you. He not gonna want you. You're not gonna serve him no purpose. You're too old. You're too old. He can't do nothing with you. You're just talking about in regards to how America look at it. You 30, you get your girl who's 27. You know, I got to get my career, this, that, and the third. The reason being, like I said, a younger woman, she in her prime in order to get this man kids. That man would marry a lot older, but this woman would be a lot younger. Now we live in this society anyway. We can't speak for the rest of the world. They teach a woman, go do this, go do this, go do this, go do this, and then go get you a husband. But now you out your prime. Now, once this man been done begin to hit his prime and now his value is increasing, he don't want you because you old. You know what I'm saying? You finna hit the wall. A lot of women don't like to hear that. Because that strikes at they self-esteem and worth and beauty and this, that, and the third. No dude want no 30, 35, 40-year-old woman talking about marry her. Especially if she done been he needs done. She's probably not gonna do that. Hold on. Probably been tainted by bad relationships with certain men. And a man reached a certain status. I did. I am. I am old. But that's okay. You ain't got to remind nobody. You ain't got to remind nobody. But you have to sit back and look at it though. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, these just the realities that people don't want. This not an acceptable conversation in this day and time. Now, don't get it twisted, right? I don't have these conversations with y'all plenty of times. You have value. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? I got you. A man has a certain value. A man has certain things that lower his value. A woman has certain things that lower her value. And it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. If a man doesn't have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that lowers his value. If a man doesn't have, meaning that he can't pick who he wants to. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. If a woman has kids, her value is lower. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean she's a horrible woman. It just means that her value is not as great as a woman who doesn't. That's all that means. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear that because we all want to think that we all have equal value, irregardless of the decisions that we have chosen to make. But if you choose to make certain decisions, they can lower your value. You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. And a woman's value lessens the older she gets. A man's value rises the older he gets. This is what it is. When a man is younger, his value is lower. The older he gets wiser, he gets more mature, his finances get more solidified, his value is greater. A woman's value does not rise the older she gets. She hit 40 years old, that man ain't got no kids. The likelihood, that's high risk pregnancy for this woman, this, that, and the third. This woman body is not prepared to have no kids. Her value's not high to him. Now, you dealing with somebody who 40 and they 40 and they done had kids already, you know what I'm saying? Then that don't matter to them. So you have to sit back and you have to look at it. That's what I'm sitting here telling you. A woman's value ain't gonna be no greater than it is between the ages of 16 and 23. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, 25 at the max. When she hit 25, her value going down. Because 9 times out of 10, she ain't gonna keep her body tight. Especially if the average woman feel like she get a dude. Cause shoot, letting yourself go, that junk ain't cool. That show you don't care about yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's just show you don't care about yourself. Oh, I got that nigga now. I ain't gotta do nothing. What you mean? See, some women get upset if that nigga looked at you and told you, girl, you fat. You need to put them hot dogs down. I got your gym membership. We'll be there in the morning. You don't want to cry. But get what? He told you the truth. You'd rather him lie to you and say, I love you the way you are, even though he don't. even though he finds you vile and don't want to touch you. Where mess up with most dudes at is you'll still lay with it even though you ain't attracted to her and you want to lose some weight versus looking in the face and telling her you need to lose some weight. Ain't no different. I tell you what to do. Don't no woman want no man out of shape. You breathing all hard, walking to the bathroom. That y'all don't do nothing for her. You looking like Bebop and Rocksteady. She disgusted. She like, oh, I gotta touch this nigga. I don't want to touch this nigga. This nigga titty's bigger than mine. I don't want that. See, people get offended. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, though. It just is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, but you know I ain't lying, though. I had to tell one of the brothers that, man. You gotta lose you some weight. Some women like big dudes. Average women don't. She don't want no fat nigga, man. That John don't do nothing for her. You ain't got to be around here looking like Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. You look like The Rock, as far as his muscular build is concerned. But you got to at least look like you care about yourself. You got to walk around here, can't see their penis nor their feet. Wonder why they can't get no women. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, you can't see your feet. It's bad enough you can't see your meat, you can't see your feet. But once you get to the point you can't see your feet, man, and it ain't even just about on the physical aspect, having more confidence on how you look. Your health ain't in order, which is the most important part. Your health ain't in order. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure your health in order. That's the most important part. If you look physically pleasing, that's great. But get your health in order. Care about yourself. Love yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm not gonna eat myself into oblivion. That's the concept to it that at least with Buddy dying from colon cancer, that you need to look at is to take care of yourself. Because who knows how Cuz diet was? You know what I'm saying? I just seen the video I was listening to earlier, man, we're talking about that, man, in regards to the levels of colon cancer are astronomically higher than what they were 60, 70 years ago. And it's just mainly because all the chemicals and fake stuff that they put in the food that we eat, our body can't really deal with it, and therefore the cells mutate. And then the mutation leads to your decease. You know what I'm saying? Because you worry about, oh, it tastes so good, but it's killing you, though. At some point, you got to say you want to be around for your offspring. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff ain't just worth it. You got to know how to delay gratification. You know what I'm talking about? But let's get on up out of here. It's about 9 o'clock, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua. We pick it up on the Shabbat and continue on down the road in the book of Proverbs, man. But you got to take care of yourself, man. You got to love yourself. Treat yourself accordingly. You ain't got but one body. You know what I'm saying? Don't tear it up. You know what I'm saying? Then you get old. You want at least to be like how Moses was. Say he had his natural vitality till he was 120. Shalom, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to walk around, be like, nah, they ain't killing you to get up out the bed. But especially most of y'all young, man. So you don't want to be young and your body breaking down. You know what I'm saying? And you're hurting and you're slothful and lethargic. You know what I'm saying? That don't usually come from how you eat. And lack of physical exercise, shalom, and lack of physical exercise. You know what I'm saying? Got to get around and do something. Take care of your body. Because I'm going to tell you something, too, on the women's side, boy. Don't be sitting there thinking you got that, man, and you ain't got to do nothing. But take your butt in there, take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You get deceived because that nigga climb on top of you. That nigga just wants some hot pot, some good yams, candy yams, that sort. So that would make you think, oh, he like it because he's still laying with you. He don't. He just don't want to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? I hurt your feelings. You know what I'm talking about? I don't like this here. You need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. Better get your feelings hurt now than little kids running by laughing at you. You know what I'm saying? People looking at you, calling you portly. You know what I'm saying? Your self-esteem get lost, and now you eat more zoom zooms and wham whams. Don't do all that. Put the snacks and the hot dogs down. You know what I'm talking about? Go on in there and do a jumping jack. You know what I'm saying? Keep that man attention. Because I already told you that before, boy. A man will lay with almost anything. You know what I'm talking about? She got a vagina. You know what I'm saying? She got a vagina. You know what I'm saying? So he don't be caring. But they woman though, man, the man don't want a woman looking like that. This man don't want a woman looking like that. Take care of yourself. I know how you feel. I got that nigga, especially in the world. He can't divorce me. I don't do that man like that. That ain't cool. He ain't get you like that. I got you. You had some kids. You gotta understand that there. But don't use the kids as a reason to let yourself go, because that's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's just an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself in order. That's the least you can do. Man doing everything else for you, you can't keep yourself in shape. How much time that take? 45 minutes a day. Shoot, bare minimum 30. 30 minutes to an hour a day, 3 to 4 times a week. You mean to tell me that man ain't worth 120 minutes out of the week? 240 minutes out of the week, he ain't worth that? Sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. Man, I bless y'all at the house of Yahuwah, name of Yahoo. I appreciate y'all. When we pick it up on Shabbat. Oh, this month, right? It's trumpets, man. This month is trumpets and atonement. September 19th. First trumpets, man. September 28th. Beginning days. I'm stating for this. For atonement. September 19th. What day is September 19th on? We look and see. I don't know what day of the week that's on. September 19th is on a Saturday. So that means that you need to make sure that you have yourself prepared, because you got back-to-back Sabbath. You understand? Make sure you have yourself prepared. That means you need to have what you need from the 18th to the sundown on the 20th. I reiterate, make sure you got what you need. Because when the weekly Sabbath ends, the Sabbath for trumpets begins. So you need to make sure that you got what you need. Atonement begins sundown Monday night. Includes Tuesday night. So keep that in mind. Y'all know what we do for atonement. We'll get all the logistics set up with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll get with y'all on that very, very soon. Probably y'all willing this week. So yeah, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Oh yeah. Let me look at that while I'm over there. Looking at October. Of course, remember that Tabernacles is going to begin on October the 3rd. Same situation as with trumpets. It begins on a Saturday night. So that means you need to make sure that you got everything that you need from Friday, October the 2nd till Sunday, October the 4th. It concludes October the 10th. So that coincides with the regular Sabbath. That's no issue. So that's no issue. Just make sure you got everything you need, because you got back-to-back Sabbaths for the first day of for trumpets and the first day of tabernacles. Just keep that in the back of your mind. So you are willing. Till the next time.